I drank a beer. I drank another beer.
And welcome back into the Beers and Ball podcast. We got a special one for you guys today. This is going to be a backyard Panthers fist fight today. But before we begin with the fight, if there is a fight, I don't know. I don't know what these guys' perspectives are going to be. I want you guys to drop a like count down below. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. We are trying to get to 300 subscribers, and at that point, we'll be doing a giveaway of some sort by whoever is that 300 subscribers. So let me introduce the world. Everybody, you guys all know Drew, your co-host there. Drew, happy Tuesday.
What's up, people?
How you doing?
Good, Eddie. How you doing?
It's Tuesday. And then we got Big Parlay. The big man is back.
Good evening, America.
And then right below him, we got Tanner. Tanner, how the hell you doing? Welcome back to the show.
Fantastic. Happy to be here.
And you know what? Let's start at the top here. Let's start with Jalen. He's the closest one to my top left or top right here. What's the emotional feeling coming after this game?
Well, after watching a great Monday night game, it was great in my opinion, as far as some aspects. Obviously, defensively, we played very well. It's just, once again, our offensive struggles and consistency hit us. But overall, I'm disappointed. But I am hopeful. Our division is weak, and it is ours for the taking.
Understood. Hey, not a bad take. Not a bad take. Tanner, what's your thoughts?
It's either going to be a minor setback for a major comeback, or it's going to be quicksand. It's going to be one of the two. The major thing that I hated was the injuries that we saw. I hate primetime games for that reason, but hopefully we can get healthy and try to make a push.
Yeah, they were dropping like flies. They were either dropping like flies or giving Juwan Jennings the old double pump right to the nuts. Like Moreg? Is that Moreg?
Moreg, yeah.
He's done for a game. Now, Drew, we talked this morning before our audio got corrupted.
Yeah.
I know a quick highlight from that is you got to get off Instagram, dog.
I do, man. Those people gonna drive me crazy.
What are the people doing?
They just like to, they just blame the coach for everything. It's just, easy out, and I just don't like it.
I think there is some blame to go around. When you look at this game, I immediately blame Dave Canales on that first drive. What they did on the goal line on the 1 yard line, throwing it on first and goal on the 1. That's pretty inexcusable. You at least got to try and run it once. I mean, you're not going to trick anybody down there at the goal line. They're either going to blitz anybody, or you can get in and you got a power back in Rico that should be able to get a yard.
Well, you should have ran, but if Bryce didn't throw that pick, we would have had 3 more chances. So, I can't really blame that on Dave. He likes to switch up the play calling, try to keep the defense guessing. Yeah, he tried to get a little pretty, but at the end of the day, Bryce shouldn't have threw that pick. He could have threw it away, could have done 1,000 other things that we could have had 3 other chances. So, you got to give a coach some props for trying to be a little aggressive, keep the defense on their toes, man. I mean, at the end of the day, I think that was Bryce's fault for turning it over.
Jalen, whose fault is it? Who are you cussing out in the locker room?
More so, I'm putting that on Canales. He called the play. We have ran a couple of those play actions, going out to the right a few times. So, just a lot going on. I honestly, with Rico, should have just ran it once or twice, but Bryce did, throw that pick. Obviously, I thought he should have ran it in. He was right there. But at the end of the day, you got to put the players in the best position to win.
I could see that. Tanner, you're a Bryce believer, dog.
I've been solid.
There's something about this quarterback that you just keep believing in.
I've been solid, but okay, on that pick, I blame Bryce because he definitely should have just kept it.
That's growth. I appreciate that. That's growth.
He should have absolutely tried to make a scramble. He was trying to force it. But at the end of the day, while I blame him for that decision, because ultimately it doesn't matter what the play call is. If the ball is put in Bryce's hands, he has the free will to decide where he's going with it. If he would have made that throw, like I could see where he was trying to what he was trying to do, but if he would have made that throw, everybody would have been like, "Oh shit, that was nasty." You know what I mean? But it's you live and die by it. He has to be smarter. I think he was feeling himself from what he did last week, and he got gut checked. But at the end of the day, when you start off with cute shit and you start being cute, you can't get mad when Bryce tries to get cute with it. You know what I'm saying? So, like, at the end of the day, shitty play call. Should have just ran it down the throat. But we've also seen so many times that we get stopped 3 times and then we're taking 3 there. But 3 is better than nothing. So,
Yeah, it definitely happens. It definitely happens more than you think. And after that first discussion, I'm gonna take a beer break. If you guys got a drink, put them up, have a drink. And anybody at home enjoying watching the suffering from these three fine gentlemen, you drink one with us as well.
Shout out here, Steven.
What?
He said, "Shout out Harris Teeter."
No.
Well, the one thing I want to get into real quick is, why did the Panthers just completely run away from the identity of their team, which is running the ball? Would they run it 13 times total?
I think it was like 9.
It wasn't enough. And comparatively to the 38 that the 49ers ran the ball. I mean, why did they just eat? At no point in this game was it out of reach enough to where you have to throw it a ton.
Mm-hmm.
But what killed you too, part of it, as a second caveat, is time of possession. They had 15 minutes of time of possession on you.
Yeah. The run game, it wasn't working too great. Rico had one good run at the beginning of the second half. I think one other good run, but other than that, it wasn't too great. Chuba had a 10-yard run on like a 3rd and 18 or something, just trying to get the ball closer to the 4th down marker. And like you said, the time of possession, we really, we had to kind of move the ball. And honestly, you know, we shouldn't have to. I know it's a run first team, but after seeing what Bryce did last week and us, wanting him to develop as a quarterback, I think maybe we were trying to put a little more weight on his shoulders, as I think we should, because he is a first round pick and he's supposed to be our franchise QB, and especially what we just saw him do to the number 1 pass defense. I thought the same thing. Maybe we could put a little more weight on him to go out there and make this pass offense a little more electric, but he didn't do it. And I really don't think, if we would have gave the ball to Rico, 25 times that game, if we would have really won, I mean, maybe, but even if that's true, it's not because of Bryce. And, that's another discussion we can have, but, I just, it's hindsight. I just don't see it. The run game was okay. It wasn't really, Rico's kind of slowing down, I think, a little bit from his little hot streak he had. But, yeah, I could see that. I wish we would have ran the ball a little bit more. But, I also think that we should have, I also like the idea of giving Bryce more responsibility or trying to put the game more on his shoulders, as I think we should. And he kind of didn't do that.
What do you got? What do you, Tanner or Jalen? Which one you guys got any takes on the run game?
I definitely do. Jalen, you want to go first?
Yeah, I'll say this. We got to we got to stick with us. It's gotten us there. It's gotten us some good wins. I don't know why we went away from it. My philosophy is you got to keep grounding them. You got to keep grounding the pounding. You got to keep running the ball. So the fact we went away from it is just again on coaching. Hate to see it, but it kind of put us in tougher positions where we got to put the ball in Bryce's hands.
Go ahead, Tanner.
I see it from a play calling perspective, and I'm definitely going to dive deeper into it as the show goes on. But I think we have a very, very bad problem when it comes to play calling, because when it comes to the run game, to address that, I don't blame them for only rushing 13 times the entire game, because when you guys saw us come out and run, you could sit there and say, "Yep, we're running it," every single time that we were probably going to run the ball, right? Every single shot, because they were stacking the box and they completely knew exactly what our game plan was. The problem is when we showed how strong our run game can be whenever our O line is healthy, even while it was banged up, and how we are a run first team, teams are going to stack the box. So it comes down to, okay, well, we know you want to run it. We're going to stack the box and make you throw it. You're not going to get the production out of your quarterback, I don't care who it is, by just running play action rollouts with 2 out routes and that's it. It's just not going to happen. They're going to man up. We don't have the veteran presence yet for our guys, and as far as separation goes, but these plays are taking way too long to develop, and Bryce is just running for his life, and he's already damn near close to the sideline by the time the receiver makes their break. So it's more so, if you're going to throw it, let Bryce actually open it up and open up the playbook. Don't just restrain him to what we saw last night, which was, I think we came out of the second half and he had an average throw of 0.5 yards distance wise. You can't win games like that. And we've seen it for years with multiple different quarterbacks. We did it with Baker, we did it with Sam Darnold. Like, we're relying on our guys to make big chunk plays out of checkdowns when we should be trying to force the ball downfield.
No, I see that because, I mean, yesterday was probably the first game of the year that I actually sat down and watched the Panthers from, whistle to whistle. And you're exactly right. I mean, they just I don't know if it's a Bryce thing or if it's a Canales thing, if it's like a scheme thing. The dude is trigger shy. He is so hesitant on, do I need to throw this? Is this route at the depth it should be? Do I trust anybody outside of Tet to throw the ball to? Now, Drew, I know your favorite quarterback statistic is QBR. What was the QBR for Bryce Young?
A whopping 13.
The hell, man.
Yeah, I didn't know it could get that low, to be honest with you.
Now, would you guys be surprised if I told you that was lower than J.J. McCarthy?
No.
That's bad, man. But because when you were watching the game, whenever Bryce would be trying to throw the ball, it seemed in the moment like he was looking for Tet or running. Mm-hmm. That was it. There was no levels of progression through these routes that were going on. Did any of you guys see anything different?
No, I mean he was mainly checking the Tet and then check down. I mean, he threw so many check downs that game. I mean, other than that shot to Tet, I mean, he didn't really take any chances. And he just stuck to Tet and the check down. And I mean, he's been doing that all year. I mean, it's nothing new. I mean, teams know it's gonna. I mean, they know he's gonna do it. And that's the big thing San Fran, just kind of did was put us in man coverage and make Bryce throw those tight throws where, you have to lead the receiver. You have to be accurate because they know he struggles with, that accuracy. And, they kind of got to him, especially with the pressure. So, not good.
Jalen, what'd you see from the passing game of Bryce Young?
Yeah, I felt like I've seen this episode before. I'm pretty sure most of us have. Definitely seen this episode quite a few times. Just kind of don't really take off, but there were some drop passes from Tet. Some guys had dropped some passes. Icky got blown up a few times. So
you would not have let that happen.
I would not. I would have been like a stone wall. But some things didn't really go our way around him. Which kind of may have hurt him or derailed that drive that we had. Like I said, I would just wish they'd get more guys involved. Jalen Coker, Bryson Tremaine, Big Mitch Evans, Tommy Two Gloves Trimble. I want to get these guys involved, man. They're on the roster, they're on the team. But they just had a game plan for Tet. And like Drew mentioned, Bryce does not throw the ball downfield. I can't tell you I haven't seen many 30-yard passes plus with him. So to see that kind of happening is a little bit shock to me. I didn't think we had it in us, but he's got it. But they just got to put it all together, man. They got to put it all together, especially if they want to win the division, get a home playoff game.
Now, you brought up a great point, Jalen, about the tight ends. Now, Tanner, why are they not involving the tight ends, like in the seams, intermediate routes? I mean, you got three good, NFL tight ends that are usable. Mm-hmm. Why is it just refusal to use them? Is it really the thought that I have is as much mix-up as the offensive line has had, Do you feel like all these injuries to the offensive line is almost handcuffing Canales to his play calling, or maybe not breathing in the confidence to Bryce Young that he can have 2.5 seconds to figure out who he wants to throw the ball to?
I mean, I think Bryce's internal clock is definitely sped up right now. Um, you saw last week, I think a lot of people have been very quick to forget it because I know, Drew, you said you've seen a lot of blaming the coach. I've only seen people blaming Bryce, and that's what I see after every single Panthers loss. Um, and I'm very tired of that just because when you have all of these injuries to the offensive line, those tight ends like Tommy Tremble and stuff like that, they're just in there to purely block. That's it. And then maybe they're just going into the flat a little bit and they can make something happen, but that's it. And if whenever you have these drops, like from Tet and from others, he wasn't alone, but Tet definitely had the most drops. Um, those are big plays and those are confidence plays. And we know Bryce, with his confidence, he's still trying to build that and fully set his feet in that. Last week, you could tell that the playbook was open. You know what I mean? Like anything was on the table. They gave Bryce the opportunity to actually sit in the pocket, fire, or roll out, and they had routes coming open across the field and trusted him to do so, and he started slinging it. You know what I mean? But I didn't see that, and so I think it comes down to what you said, Eddie, where the trigger shyness from Dave Canales is our Achilles heel here because he sees, okay, my offensive line is hurt. I need to block as many people as I can. So I'm only going to really have Tet and Leggett running a route and maybe Coker and a little flat route or something, but that's about it. Or whatever. It doesn't matter, but he's just it's very bland, it's very vanilla, and there's just no concepts. They're motioning, but it's on run plays, or they're motioning it and instantly throwing it to the motion. Like that shit's easy as fuck to read. And I think I like Dave Canales a lot. I think he's going to be a good head coach for a long time here. I don't want to see him go, but I want to see him give up the play calling and have a offensive coordinator that's a little bit more like, hey, if Bryce isn't the answer, I'm going to leave this playbook open and it's going to show the world, including us, that Bryce is the problem because I can't confidently say that. And that's why I've been such a believer in Bryce is just because I feel the exact same way about anybody else. I felt the same way about Baker Mayfield. All they did was checkdowns and use McCaffrey. That was it. And then it was to DJ Moore. That wasn't very long ago. And we're going to do that with every other quarterback that comes through and continue to ruin these quarterbacks' confidences because we're not allowing them to do anything. So
I think that's a fair assessment. Open the playbook. Let's find out. Let's have him go 3-4 games with throwing the ball 40-45 times. See what happens. It can't get any worse than what you're seeing right now. Is there any part of that, Drew, that you agree with, disagree with, neutral on?
I don't necessarily agree with that. I think the playbook's open. This is on Bryce. Dave just calls the plays for the anticipated coverage. It's on Bryce to get the ball into these receivers' hands. These aren't bums. We got solid receivers. He's got options out there. So he's got to do something. He can't just sit there, hold the ball, and then run out of bounds. He's got to make throws. These are tight window throws that you have to make in the NFL, and they're hard. And I get it. Not everybody can do it. And I'm not sure if Bryce thinks he can do it. And I think that's why he's very hesitant. And a lot of his, interceptions come off of deep passes. And I just think he's trigger shy. I mean, it seemed wild to me that like people would say, yeah, the playbook was open for Atlanta, but it's not for this game or the Saints game or this game or that game. Bryce, he gives Bryce opportunities. Like I don't think he's holding Bryce back. He's trying to give Bryce the opportunities to throw downfield, to be that number one pick. And Bryce is just trigger shy, those tight window throws, I think he's kind of scared of, and he doesn't want to turn the ball over. I think he's happy with just moving the ball, methodically dink dunk down the field. And if he doesn't turn the ball over, he's more happy with that.
Jalen, what's your thoughts? I know you've been over there. You've been over there thinking.
Let me rebut you, Drew. Explain the drop passes, sir.
Yeah, no drop passes happen, but that doesn't excuse 2 turnovers and a quarterback rating of 13.
That's fair.
Also.
But maybe we could have made a little bit more motion with those drives if Ted would have caught that pass with first down.
I understand. Icky, got blown up a couple times and got to
Yeah.
Bryce, but also, we had 3 turnovers that put us in scoring position, which we should have had. Bryce gave up, 2 turnovers in those scoring position spots. And I mean, to be honest, man, he just threw checkdowns all game. And other than that one beautiful pass to Tet over the top, I mean, there really wasn't nothing.
The ultimate weapon.
There was really nothing I could say that was just like, wow, this guy's an elite quarterback. We need to pay him $40 million to be our franchise QB for the next 4 or 5 years. Like, I just don't see it. I mean,
Tanner, you look like you had something to say. You look like you had a little disagreement in there.
So after this, you can go on YouTube and you can watch a bird's eye view of the entire game of just pure offense. Let me ask you, Drew, what do you expect Bryce to do when you plan against a stacked box, right? Tet is double covered. You give him a 10-yard out route, right? And you roll Bryce to the left, planned, because he rolls out immediately. It's planned. And that's not open, right? You have Coker on an out route on the right side and Leggett on an out route on the right side, deep right. So you have one option there in Tet against double coverage. What's the plan there? What do you expect Bryce to do aside from run for maybe 1 yard for his life?
Yeah, well, that's the alternate in the play.
Or throw it away.
That's the thing, Tanner. That's the thing. That's the alternate in these plays when they're getting them out and they're moving the pocket. It's either going to be a quick throw or a run. There is no other progression in there outside unless Legette's running like a deep corner that maybe has an opportunity. But when you roll a quarterback out, you only have 1 or 2 options, or it's a run. You don't get the full array of 4 receivers running down the field.
Right, but you're just putting Bryce on a continuous island where he's just having to run on a bum ankle. For what?
Maybe
how is that your game plan going into I think in a way, and I'm going to say this, I think that the turnovers honestly hurt our offense. In a way.
That's a crazy thought.
The reason that I feel like they did, because you can shit on Bryce for throwing 2 interceptions. Purdy had 3 in the first half, right? That put us in short field positions instantly. That's not a developed drive. Mind you, the 49ers had one game plan. Christian McCaffrey, we got your bitch. We're going to show you how much we have him, and we're going to use him every single down the entire first drive and just drain your entire defense, right? They got us tired, whatever. We were already hurt. We didn't have linebackers. We were fucked, right? But you come back in, short field position. You have that pick, right, which I already said. I agree. Bryce should have made a better decision. He should have ran. I feel like that changes the entire game. It gives us that momentum, whatever. But we kept being put in these short field positions, and it just showed that all Dave Canales knows how to do is set things up to try and get it instantly to the flat. That's it. Nothing else was developing. And I've looked at every single game, and I'm seeing the exact same things that I saw last year before Bryce got benched. It's the same type of play calling. But last week, you see it. It's inconsistency. It's, do you trust Bryce? Do you not? Do you want to open the playbook or do you not? Because Bryce was never going to be more confident rolling into this game to open it up and start slinging it than he was coming off of 400 plus yards. You're not gonna see that, and you want him to on plan checkdowns because he's instantly fucking doing it, and there's no other routes other than to block, and they're not even doing that. So it's like it's bullshit. Like they're literally just not even half running a route half the fucking time, or he's rolling out on a bum ankle. There's no fucking game plan there.
No, well, you got to understand too, though. Like they're rolling him out because there's probably so much pressure going into that game. They got to move the pocket, and when you do things like that, you have to. You have to.
I disagree because I think it's one of those things where it's like, you hear footsteps. Dave Canales is already going into this week being like, man, they're going to get after us.
Well, because they proved it.
Pocket,
how many times did a free rusher come running in?
A couple times, but half the time it was on a rollout and somebody's getting free. It was happening on the other side too.
No, I saw plenty of times where an edge rusher 57 came in, just got free. No one even tried to touch him. Bryce did a great job escaping. Did a great job getting out of the pocket. But you can't have those things. You can't He has to, when he does make that play and he's rolling out to the left and nobody's near him, he's expected to make that throw. You're an NFL quarterback. You should be able to make a 20-yard throw on the run. And he just completely misses Tet. You got to be able to make that throw. Because that could have been designed. We don't know what the actual schemes and play calls are. We're just sitting here, drinking beer, in a chair, venting.
For sure.
You know? But some of these things are designed, like, to your point, like the ball metrics part of it is when you roll your quarterback out, it's one of three things. You're going to throw it to your flat tight end, you're going to force it into an out route or corner route, or you're going to run. Or you're going to throw it out of bounds. You know, like, that's it.
You know, and I think that's supposed to play into his strengths because that was, you know, a big thing of him coming to Alabama was him, you know, getting out on the move and making these improv throws. You know, I think he likes being out on the run. You know, he's quick to escape the pocket. You know, he's good at it. And I think, you know, he likes being kind of out where he's not, you know, having that big O line in front of him where he's, you know, having trouble seeing or he has to throw it over him. So I think that might be kind of stuff designed for him that he probably likes to honestly get out the pocket, you know, and, you know, we also run a lot of spread shotgun type stuff. You know, it's not all just bootleg, you know, play action rollout stuff. And, you know, like you said, from the all 22, I mean, there's plenty of angles where Bryce can make, you know, these throws where he can lead receivers and get big time throws. And he just does not throw it and chooses the check down time after time again. I mean, I really don't see why we would have designed check down throws. I mean, that's not really, you know, something that a successful OC, you know, proven OC like Dave would do to me, you know, especially with the number one overall pick. So I like I said, I just think it's all Bryce. I think he's just no confidence in himself. You know, he has confidence against Atlanta, you know, thank God. But, you know, other than that, you know, he just looks not good, hesitant, scared.
Yeah, and that'll do it for the offense because we do want to talk about the defense because the defense did a hell of a job Monday night. They did a hell of a job. They were not the reason that this Carolina Panthers team lost, but before then, a little swig of beer. Hey, thank you for sticking around. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe down below. We are trying to get to 300 subscribers, and at that point, we'll be giving away a gift card of whoever the winner's choice is. So make sure you subscribe down below. Back to the show. And welcome back to the show. Boys, we're going to talk about the defense. Defense, they played a hell of a game. They were not the reason that this Carolina Panthers team lost. You get 3 interceptions from Brock Purdy. You call CMC to fumble, and it was like a slick pig on that field just tumbling around. I don't know how you didn't get it. You only had 6 guys there. Jalen, you could have got that ball.
Damn right.
You would have rolled your ankle, but you could have gotten it.
I would have got it.
Tanner, start with me. Defense. Give me 2 quick hits on how you think the defense played.
I'm very proud. I going into it, I knew McCaffrey was going to get his. I did not expect that first drive though, like just how overkill it was to McCaffrey, but it was working. To their credit, it was working, and
9 straight touches or 9 touches in that first drive.
It was insane, and to me, I felt like going into the game, knowing what we've seen from Purdy, I wanted him to feel confident enough to try and push the ball downfield because I knew that's whenever we would have a chance to make these explosive plays. Just because, not for nothing, our secondary was actually pretty healthy. Our linebackers were completely beaten up to shreds, and we were out without some very key pieces. So I really thought it was going to be worse on the ground than it was. But they showed out. They absolutely did. They forced Purdy to make some mistakes early, 3 of them, and McCaffrey fumbled. I mean, that could have been an easy 4. But at the end of the day, I can't really expect our offense to do anything with 4 if we couldn't do shit with 3. We got 3 points. So,
it's true.
You know, it's the way that, you know, I feel like defenses can easily get demoralized whenever they're doing their part and the offense isn't doing their part. They still continued to absolutely fight. And they were like, you know what? It's cool. We got you. We're going to put it on our backs. And eventually, maybe the offense will be able to do something. It's not what happened. But, you know, whenever JC went out and then we lost another corner, I was like, we got to buckle up.
Yeah, that's tough.
And to the credit too, it sucks because I feel like if we had our linebackers in, it might have been a little bit different. Just because you could definitely tell after that 3rd pick, they were like, we're not throwing shit no more. We're literally checking it down to Kittle or McCaffrey, and that's it. that is our game plan, and that's all we need to win. And they were completely 100% right.
That's enough to beat a lot of teams. Now, Jalen, JC, and my guy Mike Jack. What the hell got into them?
Prime time. It was Monday night. You know, big players got to step up and make plays. And JC, I believe that's what his fifth pick. He got his fourth and fifth that game, if I'm not mistaken. So correct me if I'm wrong, but you know, just great play by him undercutting, being the first round corner that we drafted. Then Mike Jack making up obviously from that Green Bay Packers game as well, getting his pick back. So defense played well. You know, McCaffrey was limping. They were on him. They put lids on him. Put a lid on Kittle. You know, almost had a fumble as well. Don't know how didn't get that one either. I mean, my God, they were right on it and just couldn't even get it. But I'm proud of the defense though. They tackled well. Just needed more pass rush. Got to make a little bit more, you know, get some more pass rush there. But they played really well. Brock Purdy, 3 picks. I thought Mac Jones was going to get in at a certain point in time.
Yeah,
but you know, kudos to the defense. We got to keep the momentum as we go against Puka, Nakua, and Devontae Adams.
Yeah, and that's a good point. They held up. But Drew, where the hell was the pass rush, man?
It's non-existent.
I don't know if Purdy got hit once in the pocket.
Yeah, I can't really recall, honestly. You know, that's our been struggles with the pass rush all year, but you know, we do a good enough job, and you know, I think our defense is solid. Other than that, I mean, our defense has been pretty solid all year, other than, you know, that Buffalo and New England game. But you know, I think, you know, defense is great. We just don't have a complementary offense, you know, unfortunately.
You know, Micah Parsons over there.
We need a quarterback. I think.
Yeah. Icky put him in the car seat.
Why are you trying to do that, Drew? Why are you trying to do that? We're trying to talk about the defense right now.
Yeah. You ain't slick.
The defense is fine.
Don't you try to throw a little jazz and run away, Dave? Don't you try to do that?
Well, that's the thing, because it's so disappointing when you have such a good outing. You know, for me as a Packers fan to compare myself to how maybe this defense felt, I mean, it's not anywhere close to the same level, because this game was in the NFC Championship game against the Buccaneers in 2020, and we picked Brady off 3 times and got no points from it. And how disappointing that is, because you look back at it, you had 7 possessions, 3 of them were gifted to you, so you really only had 4 possessions to score on offensively, like full offensive drives, and you just completely whiffed on 3 of them. I mean, when you go into the locker room, the defensive guys start looking around at Bryce and Chuba and be like, what the fuck's wrong with you guys? You know, it's really just disheartening.
You're right.
It's disheartening because you can't. What's the point of? Well, when you go to LA, what's the point? What's the point of even putting the defense out there? You know, they got the stops, they got the turnovers. They're gonna go out there and be like, why do you think Morag threw a punch?
Because he couldn't pick up a loose fumble. He had to show you.
Yeah, he's like, I'm gonna punch Jawan Jennings. I can't punch Bryce Young.
He had it coming. No, Jawan Jennings had it coming. You see his hair? He had it coming, man. You see his haircut? He had it coming.
I gotta say, Bryce Young gives probably the most uninspiring pregame speeches I've ever heard.
Come on, guys!
We work really hard.
Nick Saban once told me.
No, hold on. You're not gonna sit here and talk about my goddamn quarterback.
Here's my issue, and this is
my
what
quarterback. Get him, Tanner.
Thank you, Jalen.
Yeah, get him.
Nick Saban told me.
No. See, this is the issue. And we're right back on the offense now, because this is going to have to be addressed. My issue with Carolina Panthers fans is they have absolute dementia. And it is the most frustrating thing ever, because every single time, and if you go to a game, you can see one incomplete pass. It could be a drop. They are going to call for that quarterback's head as long as that motherfucker is not Cam Newton, because that dude is the only person that has any respect back then, right? This being said, Panthers fans suck as a whole. There's a lot of real ones. I know both of y'all are real ones, but I wish that we weren't so quick to forget the good things that our offense has been able to do this year. We beat the Packers. Going into the year, did you think we were going to do it? Probably not. We
Rico
beat the
beat the Panthers.
Cowboys. Did you think we were going to do it? Probably not. We beat who else? We dropped 30-0 on the Falcons, but it's inconsistency, right? Like it's just it comes to a point where what I want to see, especially from you, Drew, are we riding with them or are we not? Because if you're not riding with him, then don't celebrate it whenever he drops 400 yards because that's all he does is whenever he knows he's like, oh, I'm about to get benched again, 400. Let me
Yep.
start dancing. Let me call up Rod Wave real quick. Like he will produce. He's shown those glimpses. He's shown that he can be a successful quarterback in this league. And I'm telling you right now, if he ends up going to a better team with a better offensive coordinator, because I think Dave Canales is just so I don't know, spread out with what he's having to do right now, maybe that he's not able to just focus on everything like he was able to do for one season with the Buccaneers. Okay. Like that's, and he had Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, Baker Mayfield on the absolute rise, turned him around, but he had who? Bucky Irving. Like he had these weapons that he could really get busy with, and that's all he had to focus on. But now he's got all these other responsibilities and he's trying to deal with it. You know, you just can't I would have loved to have conversations like this with you whenever Bryce came back from being benched last season. Unfortunately, we can't go back to those moments, but we've seen these flashes where he can be that whenever that playbook feels like it's open. I didn't feel like the playbook was opened up from after the first drive whenever he threw the interception, right? Because that was being aggressive. And then Dave said, go take my nuts to the locker room. We are going to play safe the rest of the time. We're going to have to run screens. We're going to run little rollouts. We're going to see what we can make shake. And okay, we got Ted. Bryce threw a lot of dots and they got dropped. You have to have that even accountability, but I don't see you coming for Ted McMillan's head, right? I mean, like there was a lot of missed holding calls that were happening. Like guys were not able to get open, but there was also that deep throw, the pretty much only deep throw that Bryce threw, and that was to Tet for the touchdown. It actually felt like they were letting him just say, you know what, fuck it. We got to make something happen. The time's running out. And they finally do it. That has to be from the first bell, and it's just not happening. So until there's that consistency, it's just not going to happen. But don't be so quick to forget the good things as soon as we lose because it's on everybody.
Well, it's you say quick to forget the good things, but I haven't seen many good things from Bryce other than the Atlanta and the Dallas game. Really, he hasn't really shown a really great game. I mean, all these games that we've won have mainly been because of Rico. I mean, the Dallas game, Rico ran for 180. Green Bay, he ran for 130, and Green Bay played like crap. Let's be honest. We beat the Jets, we beat the Dolphins. We beat crappy teams with our good run offense. But there's the Dallas game and the Atlanta game is the only games I can really say we won because of Bryce. Other than that, this year, he has not just really shown it. And, it's not like I don't want him to succeed. It's like I'm not, we got him for 2 more years, obviously, and I would like him to step it up. And I've been asking him to step it up, because, this is his year 3. We've improved the team. The whole team has improved. It feels like, except for him. And it's just like, how long do we really need to sit around and wait for this? It's like, yeah, he's shown flashes, but lots of QBs, can have a day. Every dog has their day, but it's consistency what makes a great QB and what makes a franchise QB. And I just haven't seen that. And it's really hard for me to sit here and keep backing him up when he's very, very, very inconsistent. I want him to be the guy, but it's like I really can't sit here and say that he is. It's really hard.
One thing I think is going to be a great path for the Carolina Panthers is going to be next year. Because next year you're going to have to determine if you're going to pay Bryce Young or not. Next year, this time, he's either going to have a new contract or there's going to be posters on the Charlotte Observer saying, get this fucking guy out of here. Or,
Oh, it already is.
Or is it time to start Anthony Richardson?
No. You watch your mouth, all right?
we can give you some, we can just pretend that he's Cam Newton.
No, I don't want no part of AR-15 on my goddamn football team.
Why?
Has he shown anything from you other than hitting the ceiling with a football?
I mean, he can throw. He can definitely throw it a lot. He can at least throw it harder than Bryce Young can. He's 6 foot 6. I mean, he's basically Cam Newton, except for not getting kicked out at Florida.
as Colonel Went once said, he can't hit the side of a barn. All right.
He can't hit the broadside of a barn, is what you mean.
Shit. He reminds me of Cardell Jones. Remember that sucker? Yeah.
You better watch your tone before until Jordan Love can manage to get an MVP, because you can't talk about Cam Newton until then.
Well, when Cam Newton was also the quarterback to Panthers, Aaron Rodgers was, and he had 4 fucking MVPs. Suck it.
Hey, you've been watching film, huh?
Yeah, you lost in a Super Bowl, huh?
You didn't make it there, huh?
2010.
Hey, you got 40 hung on you that year. You remember that?
40.
You don't remember that?
40 by who?
By the Panthers? We played that year.
I don't know if it was 40. I thought it was 38, 34 or something like that.
You might think so.
Might have been 30, 40, 34. It was
What are y'all talking about?
It was a touchdown game.
We could Google it.
Yeah,
What are y'all talking about?
2015.
Panthers Packers back in 2015.
Oh, geez, that was 10 years ago. My God.
It's sad that we have to go back that far. It really is.
It's the last time you were close to winning the division.
We did win the division.
But now talking about the division here, we'll go to a silver lining. See, because you baited, I closed the door. All right, silver lining. You're still only a half game back from Tampa Bay. You know, Big Baker got no shoulder. He'll be out at least 2 weeks. There's no way he plays Sunday with that. I mean, that's just criminal to throw him out there on Sunday with a separated shoulder. But
the Commanders.
Yeah, they got a cakewalk. They got a cakewalk the rest of the year. The Rams might just score 70 against you on Sunday.
No. You watch your mouth, right? How dare you?
They might just score 70.
The Rams barely beat the Seattle when Seattle threw 4 interceptions.
Yeah, but that's a divisional game. That doesn't.
We will game plan against the Rams like we game plan against the Packers. We will game plan against them, and we will be ready.
Rams
Sunday
are the best team in football. Good luck.
Oh,
you're not going to have any corners.
Hey,
your safety's gone. Your linebackers are gone.
That's fine. Hey, next man up. This is Panther football we're talking about here.
Hey,
sir.
you ain't see who we signed today?
Yeah, he was on the Packers practice squad and couldn't make a tackle.
Because y'all didn't know how to
He didn't make it out of training camp.
Y'all didn't know how to use them.
He didn't want to play
That's your
there.
problem.
No, he wanted to. No. He wanted to.
It's too cold.
No. Hey, now we're just telling lies because he was a free agent going into this year because the Giants got rid of him. The Giants got rid of him. He chose to sign. He chose to sign in Green Bay mostly because there wasn't anybody else wanting his ass. Because the dude looks like there is some fucking video out there from Packers training camp of this guy just running into space, not even doing anything. Jalen, you can play linebacker better than Isaiah Simmons. He's just a combine freak. What do you want, Tanner?
Get him, Tanner. Get him.
First of all, screw you. Second of all, there was a video that came out, and it was after Panthers Packers this year, and he was on their practice squad. And as soon as he saw what happened,
he never. Isaiah Simmons.
No, stop it. He said, "I need."
You're just lying.
I haven't wanted to play football since I left Clemson. That's the real part. I'm gonna go to Carolina. I'm gonna ball. And we said, you know what? Listen, we ain't got room right now. We just whooped the Packers.
Joe Biden.
It's a little stuffed
Joe
right
Biden.
Now,
fake news.
If the stars aline, then you can come holler at us. And
Joe Biden. Joe Biden is in the Zoom call.
Hey, how you gonna call me Joe Biden when I'm the
because you're
youngest
fake
here?
news and bullshit.
I'm the youngest here. Shut up.
And you know that's crap. How dare you misinform our great viewers?
Hey, if I'm lying, then your webcam's on right now.
Exactly. So, he is at the bottom of the barrel. Like, he was a fun project coming in. I mean, he's a good special teams player, but if you put him on the field, it's like putting a blind kid on the football field.
You didn't know how to use him. That's okay.
No. Putting a blind kid on the football field is starting Andy Dalton. Okay, we saw that against the Bills.
Yeah. He's more worried about his hair on the sidelines.
Isaiah Simmons more worried about his damn sweatbands. We need that Coastal Carolina coach. We need some dogs.
Not now. Guess what? Because Rod Wave called him too.
Yeah, Bryce got that look in his eye again.
Look of fear.
No.
Did Bryce Young even practice last week, man?
Yeah.
I don't even
Damn
know,
right.
dude. Honestly, I didn't see shit on the injury report, and I was kind of scared because his ankle got really banged up last week, and I heard nothing the entire week about his ankle whatsoever until like primetime. Then finally, they just showed him walking sideways on his feet, and I was like, oh, okay, now they want to address it. Like I guess.
I mean, because this game looked like Dave Canales didn't have a plan, so he couldn't give Bryce Young a plan, and that's why you come out with you get great turnovers because usually it's like 9 times out of 10. Maybe I get realistically I gave it 7 out of 10 times. If you win the turnover battle, you'll win the football game. You won the turnover battle.
Not with us. I'll tell you the silver lining right now going into next week against the Rams. We were not supposed to beat the 49ers, right? We all knew that going into it.
It's gonna be like a
But-
21-point spread.
Excuse me, sir. I'm talking. Second of all, with that being said,
Get 'em.
we were not supposed to beat the 49ers, but it was a very winnable game, and we showed that, right?
Yes.
It was a very winnable game. Some certain things go our way. It opens up that playbook. Ultimately, the Panthers are not allowed to have nice things. We are not allowed to have nice things. We trade them away for piss poor.
Or you
But-
throw them at your fans with a
Excuse me.
nice drink at your fans.
Excuse me. So, that being said, we can't have nice things. We're not going to get nice things against the Rams, most likely. So, you're going to see us in our prime where we play our best ball is whenever we're playing from behind. And we don't have nice things happening. So, next week, after Bryce is going to have a lot of shit talk because, it's prime time and Drew's done damn near evicted him out of his apartment uptown. You're going to see Bryce come out, and you're going to see Isaiah Simmons have a legacy game, and we gonna fight.
Hey, what you smoking on, dog?
Hey, I'm just telling you. Hey, I'll bet
Next
you.
man
right
up.
now. I'll bet you right now.
I like the enthusiasm.
We're talking about an Isaiah Simmons legacy
Put
game.
20
you got to have a
20 in the
legacy to
cash
have a
Isaiah
legacy
Simmons,
game.
8+ tackles hit me.
Put
Yeah,
it in the
right
cash app.
He's got a lot more.
Cash app right now. Lock it in.
He's got a lot more positivity than me about this team. I'll tell you that.
I love
50 in the
it.
cash app.
Hey,
Hey, he gonna hit big parlay with that cash out. He gonna turn that to $150.
Yep. But lock in the bets in the cash app.
Well, let's go around the horn here. Last messages, Jalen. Number one, question one is, do you feel better after talking about the Carolina Panthers?
I do. I'm going to keep my optimistic being. This is my team. Being the fact that the division is within our sights, we can win the division, get a home playoff game. So I'm very optimistic. We're going to keep pounding, and we got something for the Rams.
Got something for the Rams. Tanner, do you feel better? Did I uphold my promise of you feeling better after getting on here and chatting it up a little bit?
A little bit. I'm ready for the Rams. I'm ready to see what we do. But at the end of the day, I feel like this season, as far as if we're going to the playoffs, it's going to come down to us versus Tampa Bay. And it does not matter. Tampa Bay is on an absolute slide right now. I know that they've had the harder part of their schedule, but I think they're going to continue to do what they do, or not what they do, but what they've been doing. And it's going to come down to, us versus them. I think we're going to take out the Saints on our second try, because we can't have nice things. And then we're going to come in here, and even if we lose to the Rams, I'm still not chalking it out for this season. This is a very tough matchup coming up here, and they showed us last week that they're going to fight, and we're going to see it.
Clearly, that's why he got suspended for a game.
I love it.
I mean,
I
just
hate that. I hate that.
wow. I mean, what a bitch move though, straight to the nut.
Hang on. But here's the deal. He did throw an appeal. Okay, so until
Yeah,
that has happened,
Jordy Nelson is not. Jordy Nelson is not overturning that.
His lawyers said no comment right now because they're in the middle of an appeal. You never know.
Innocents are proven guilty.
Yeah,
It
and he
just gives
was.
Isaiah
There's video
Simmons more of a way
evidence.
to shine. That's all it is.
Mhm.
He gonna shine.
The glove fit. All right, the glove fit.
To the
Yeah,
grave.
he minked that motherfucker.
Like, I mean, I
That's
guess
the
smart move.
nine-round
I,
shit.
you know what? I would rather hit him in the nuts than hit him in the helmet because you're not gonna break your hand. If you punch a guy in the helmet, you're probably gonna break your hand.
Mo Rig
Smart move. Actually, If you're gonna get suspended, get your money's worth, and there you go. There's your money's worth right there.
Mo Rig was doing pad work with Eddie. That's what happened.
Drew, do you feel better?
Oh yeah, man. I always feel better talking about my Panthers, man.
Are you gonna stay on Instagram?
Yeah, I'll stay on Instagram. You know, I'll stay on Instagram. Don't want to put too much time in it, man. Don't want. But you know, feeling good about the, feeling okay about the Panthers. You know, I'm gonna keep saying it. You know, this is Bryce's team. You know, he's in his third year. Like, you know, this is his team to take to the playoffs. You know, this is his team to put on his shoulders and go, look, guys, I'm gonna get y'all guys there, and that's what we want to see him do. You know, I don't want to see us, just rely on Rico to get us to the playoffs and then us to lose in the wild card or whatever. You know, I want to see Bryce Young show that he's that guy. Go out there, win some games, get us in the playoffs, win the division for us, man. Show us you're the guy, because, I'm not seeing it. This offense is stagnant. We got all the pieces, good defense, good O-line, solid receivers, good run game. Let's make it happen, man. Let's make it fucking happen.
Fuck yeah.
Come on, let's go.
Ready to run through a fucking wall.
We know we can do it. We saw what we do against Atlanta, man. The bar is set.
Yeah, that's a better pregame speech than Bryce gives.
That was. Hey, listen, I think your phone's going to be ringing pretty soon because Tepper's looking for somebody to give a pregame speech.
That's right, man.
Between you and Jameis right now, so
yeah.
it's going to get crazy.
Hey,
yeah.
when the pan's hot, put the popcorn on.
Hey, I do have a question though for both of y'all, or all three of y'all. If you just said, Drew, that this is Bryce's team, right? I agree. It is Bryce's team, and it's time that everybody starts preaching that consistency, and we see these consistent game plans. I think it's in us. We've seen these shines through the darkness of it. It's just week to week. It sucks. To get over that hump and start to be able to win 2 straight or something, like we need that to build that confidence. And Bryce and in everybody, it's gonna be contagious. But what I would ask is, if a Bryce Young led team, Panthers team, makes the playoffs this year, are you finally going to stop being so upset with him after one bad game?
Well, it's not one bad game. I know you asked this to Drew,
dog.
but it's not one bad game.
I asked the question.
I mean, make it a fair question, because that's not a fair question.
If a Bryce Young led team makes the playoffs this year, something we have not touched in how long?
10 years.
It's 2017.
Okay. And it was how long before we were even past week 1?
I couldn't tell you.
We remember the stat. We talked about it before, right? Mm-hmm. Even longer before we were up 1, right? Nobody thought that we were going to have this nice of a record going in against the Rams this year. We are proving a lot of people wrong. The only thing that we can really do is the mantra. Keep fucking pounding. That's all we got to fucking do, and keep trying and just ride with our guys, because we either going to make the playoffs or we going to be in Cabo like we've been every single year.
But so, rephrase your question. It got to be better than that.
Here is my question. If Bryce Young leads this team to the playoffs this year, are you going to ride with him in the future? Is that him earning a contract going forward? Because personally, I want them to bring in competition for Bryce going in next year, because Andy Dalton is not that.
Mm-hmm.
Andy Dalton sucks. And we saw it when Andy got the start. We thought he was going to be Red Rocket. He was going to be slinging it. And we saw I don't even want to talk about it. But if we make the playoffs, why would you switch it? You know what I mean? Like, there's going to be those talks about trading him. There's going to be talks about all these other things. Where are you going to sit if we do end up making the playoffs and we enter the wild card?
If he plays well, and leads us to the playoffs, because this is the tough part of our schedule. We play I think every team here from out except the Saints has a winning or at least a sub or par above 500 record. So I think this is his time to kind of shine and show. So, yeah, I think if we do win out these games, win the division, then, yeah, I think it will be his team, because, and I will be down to stick with him, because he can show, he can play through that. And, I want to see him play good through these good games. We've seen him play good against Atlanta and Dallas, and that's really it, man. I can't really look at any other game and see like, oh, wow, he's done great. But, he did this at the end of last year too. And, that's kind of like the thing that's kind of messing with me is because, rookie year, we give him grace because they're rookie quarterback, bad situation, whatever. Year 2, second half, he shows massive improvement after coming back from being benched. And then we come into this year and it's kind of like he took a step back, and then, he might be taking a step forward. So, but, if he does take a step forward and take the team to the playoffs, I think that is the step in the right direction that we're looking for a franchise QB. And I love what you said about bringing someone in next year to compete for the starting job. I think that's a great idea. I've been saying that, even if Bryce balls out, we should probably do that. But I think it is going to be his team for the next 2 years, regardless if he plays this good year or not. But I think if he takes us to the playoffs, man, and it's because he plays well. And yeah, I'm down to stick with him, man. Because yeah.
Yeah, I'm right there with you guys. That'll be the big thing that really pushes him over the top. If he gets us that playoff game. So that's what we're aiming for. That's what we're looking like. So we got to keep pounding and finish where we start. Finish strong.
I don't want to be the fucking bearer of bad news here. All right, I don't want to be fucking bad news bear, but I gotta be bad news bears here. He could win. He could win a wild card game, get to divisional and lose. It's still not gonna matter because there's zero consistency with this guy. You'd be a fucking idiot to sign him up for $40 million a year. There's zero consistency, unless because you're gonna play with him all next year. Now next year if he changes it. But what he does the rest of this year means little. Like a playoffs doesn't matter. Making the playoffs really doesn't matter into all the schemes. Like, yeah, you get a wild card, cool. You get a home playoff game, cool. But that doesn't show the organization what they need. You look at the Niners; it took them for like ever to pay Brock Purdy because they didn't know if he had all the necessities and if he can be this guy without all of these great targets around him. And it's proved up to this point not very great for him. And so it takes a lot. And when you constantly see turnover with great talent coming out, the Panthers are going to leverage the shit out of Bryce Young because you're not going to give him anywhere close to top 5 money. The best deal that the Panthers could make in the best case scenario is giving him like a Sam Darnold style contract or a Baker Mayfield something that's not going to eat up a large percent of your cap and you're not tied to him forever. But none of that matters. None of it matters until he shows consistency. He did some at the end of last year. He has his ups and his downs, but he does not play at even a stable level. That's not a great level for stretches of time. He'll have his 115, 120-yard games for 4 straight weeks. Then he'll pop off against a Cowboys. And then another 4 or 5 weeks, and it's Atlanta. And then he's back to reality. And a lot of that could be on the coach not understanding what his team's identity is and wanting to run, but then wanting to let it loose, then wanting to run. So it could be on the coach too. But
no, I agree with you. And, that's the tough part. It is the inconsistency because that's what makes great quarterbacks, however, we haven't seen this in a while, and it's kind of like, we are starting to kind of see the progression just kind of through the whole team and the coach and everything. And it's, we see the progression, we see the flashes, and I think it can be there. And that's what and we know that Bryce has some moxie. So that's what I'm saying. If he can finish out this year and get us to that playoff, get us over that hump, I think he has everything there, then I think it's just a matter of fact of us growing as, not only Bryce just second year in this Canal system, but also Canal's growing as a play caller and a coach. And, you've been spoiled as a Green Bay Packers fan with having 3 Hall of Fame caliber quarterbacks in a row. So, I don't know if it's a little biased to that, but, I mean.
Some of it is. I see a lot of it around the league. You see, because a lot of these quarterbacks, they have to play consistency. Now, here's the biggest question you have to ask yourself when you're coming on if you're going to pay a quarterback or not. Look back at yourself before the Atlanta game, like the 2 games before then.
Mm-hmm.
Would you expect that and have a $40 million tag associated with it?
Absolutely not.
And that's what you get majority of the year. So why would you do that?
That's a bad idea. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, no, but here's the thing.
Because he's not just going to get great out of nowhere.
Here's the thing.
We've seen improvement.
Here's the thing. I'm not gonna sit here and act like Bryce Young has been consistent since the back end of last year. But that back end of last year was consistency. That's what that was. And in a lot of ways, he became more of a game changer aspect than a game manager. And that's all he is right now as a game manager.
And that's why you draft a receiver in the first round.
That's 100% why, because he showed that consistency at the back end of last season. But he's also very, very young. We got to remember this, right? He's younger than half of these quarterbacks that are coming out.
Yeah,
right
but
now.
He's due.
Even right now.
Don't matter how old he is, he's due to get paid.
100%. He's doing it to get paid. But here's what I'm saying.
Due.
Okay, he's due. He will be soon. But here's my problem. You just said we could go to the wild card, make divisional, lose, whatever.
Sure.
And that's not going to matter. We do not make the wild card unless Bryce gets consistent. And that's the bottom line because I said so.
I agree.
All right? So let's just understand that right now. Either they're going to get it together and they're going to have a little kumbaya and meditation. I don't give a fuck if they got to take ashwagandha. I don't care if they got to take the toad or friggin' toad's tongue, whatever the fuck it is. But Dave and Bryce and the whole team need to get on the exact same page and say, listen, that shit worked last week. We're coming right out firing next week with the exact same shit. And this is how they're going to probably attack us. This is our answer right here. And we are going to stick to the fucking plan because we get thrown off our pivot and freaking Dave tucks his freaking tail and so does Bryce in the process. It's everybody's fault because we are losing. But whenever we're winning, everybody's happy,
Well,
right?
yeah, winning cures everything.
If winning cures everything, we do not make the playoffs this year if Bryce is not consistent or find that consistency that he had last year, and that's just it. And if we do not make the playoffs after what we've shown so far on film, I definitely need to see some quarterback competition, and I will be ready to have that conversation with you, Drew, where I'll sit here and be like, you know what, maybe I was wrong about Bryce. I think genuinely, if you put Bryce on another team right now, like the Dolphins or something like that, before the Dolphins got incredibly hurt, you would see him shining a lot better than he is right now in Carolina. I think that we were blessed for a while with a game wrecker in Cam Newton, and we've tried to replicate that with all of the wrong reasons since then. And Bryce is the only person that has shown that he can be consistent since then.
Well, I'm glad you brought up Miami because would you want Tua's contract right now?
Fuck no.
So again, that's the exact contract you're going to get even a year from now when quarterback prices go up.
I'm not married to Bryce. I'm just still believing him because of the consistency that he's shown.
That's what I'm saying. It's like he's not the guy.
There has been improvement.
There's been improvement, but it all comes down to consistency and how much improvement is he showing. He's not like
Brian Tannehill took a long time before he became
nothing. Before he became nothing.
But he at least had the time.
Derrick Henry. Ryan Tannehill with Derrick Henry in the backfield.
AJ Green, and that's it. Delaney Walker.
Yeah, that's why they traded him, right? That's why they traded him, right?
But hey, still.
Because I mean, everything is all put into the same because the thing is when you're building this team, your best chance of winning a Super Bowl or more higher chance than ever is when you have a rookie quarterback on a rookie deal. That time is about to run out, and this team isn't built for so.
It's also incredibly unrealistic and a lot of pressure to put on a team because not everybody is that game wrecker that is coming out in the first round. How many busts do we see?
When you pick the number one pick, you're drafting
you are already
a
dog shit team if you have the number one pick. That's the problem.
Tell that to Houston. Tell that to Houston that picked two after you.
But we traded up. We traded up.
Yeah, we traded up. But here's my thing, right? You had a situation where you got to have Jordan Love.
I'm not talking about Jordan Love. I'm talking about Bryce Young.
And sit and watch for 3 seasons and watch y'all go to the conference championship or divisional round, whatever the fuck it was, and then go straight home in the exact same way. 3 straight years in a row. But not everybody gets to see that. Not everybody gets that.
I'm not talking about the Packers. I'm talking about Bryce Young.
Yeah, and you have a really young quarterback in Bryce Young who came to an abysmal team with new head coaches rotating in and out of the door. And he's
on year 2 with Daniel. He's on end of year 2 with Ken Allis.
Tepper's growth's been amazing this year. Nobody talks about that.
No, he's at the end of year 2 with Canales. It should be hitting better than it is. Because going into year 3 is when you master whatever game plan they have, and they're acting like they just got together.
Yeah, you watch Red Zone every week.
Well, and it's also like
I watch every game. I watch every game
on Red Zone.
No, I rewatch every game on Monday and Tuesday.
And you watch Red Zone. Nope. I know you. I've been in Vietnam. I know what it is.
Well, also to back up Eddie, kind of on that point, he was saying,
knew that was coming.
They said about the getting the system more down. Last year was Dave Canales' first year, and at the end of that, first half of the year, the offense was clicking. The defense was struggling. So, and we had the same receiving core. Pretty much everybody same on offense. We
added
Tet and Mitchell Evans. So, I feel like it should be working. Even better now, if not. So I think Bryce has the system. We can make it work. It's just I think he's just been inconsistent, but he's shown a couple flashes where he can play good, but. Yeah, but I think as the system gets a little better, he might get a little better. But you would expect it especially after seeing what happened at the end of last year, for it to be massive improvement this year, and it kind of just hasn't been. So
Yeah, I mean, progression isn't linear, so I'm not trying to say that year after year
Yeah.
they're supposed to get better because it's just not linear. You only hope to get small progressions, but there is no leap. There's nothing you can really look at between last year and this year with Bryce Young.
Yes, you
There's
can.
what?
Yes, you can.
The
What?
eye test and the numbers.
Jalen.
but
The
Jalen.
eye test and the
Listen,
numbers.
I'm a dive in that deep water that you just
Jalen.
cannonballed into, but you got to help me out here because I don't know where you're going with that. I'm not even gonna lie.
Jalen.
I'm ready. I got my
Jalen.
scuba gear on. I'll put my glasses back on if I need to. But
Yeah,
like, I don't
Bryce has improved every year, number wise, and just
I'm
watching him
talking
play.
about where this guy is the quarterback of the future. He
Yes.
is winning
He
games.
is.
He is the reason you're winning games, not just because of him you're winning games. The reason that you're winning games.
Well, so
Throwing for
quarterbacks-
112 yards
so-
is not.
so is
you're
Jer-
the
so
know. If we
reason.
rush for 200, that's going to be the game plan.
What happens
are
when you
talking
rush
about?
for 38 and you pass for 112?
So Jared
we're
Goff is
fucked.
the future, right? Jared Goff wins the games for the Lions, or is he around a complete team?
I'm putting him in the complete team. That's why he's not a top 5 paid quarterback.
Okay. Then I have a serious question for
There's
Eddie
there's
and-
tiers to like quarterback pay,
Okay.
but when
okay,
you have a
serious-
number one quarterback, he's gonna want the money too.
serious question.
He might not even go to
Since-
training camp next year until he gets
Since-
paid.
Since you want to jump on Bryce's neck so badly right now.
I'm not. I'm just spitting the facts.
Hey, Bryce Young stomped into Lambeau and walked out with a dub.
With
So
112
you can-
yards.
God damn it.
You can
Hush
eat
your
that.
mouth.
With
How about
100
that
with
game
112 yards.
Because we
Get
game
fucked.
plan.
What a 100. The
Yeah,
only
that's
the
all
only
he needed.
pass he threw
That's
farther
all
than
he
10 yards
needed.
was picked off.
That's all
Hey,
he
that was
needed,
the game
though.
plan. Yeah,
Hey,
that was
how
the
many
game
picks?
plan.
Hey,
Yeah, he threw fucking 60 yards down the field.
okay, listen. Here's what I'm gonna say. Question, Drew, please. My belief is that it is a play calling issue at heart, right? What do the Panthers need to put on film more than they've already put on film to show you that, hey, it can be on Bryce a little bit, but this play calling is ass? What needs to be shown for you to have that sentiment? Or will we ever get there?
I've watched plenty of all 22 film. I mean, it's not ass. I mean, he's got guys open. He just kind of is very just hesitant. Like, I mean, there's no other way to put it. Like, he prefers the easy check down or the quick slant route or the quick out route. Like, he just doesn't want to. He doesn't want to make those long over the middle of the throws a lot. I mean, I really don't see, like, you really gonna sit here and say like Dave Canales is like a bottom 5 play caller like in the league?
100%. 100%.
Okay. I disagree, but I mean, it's just, I just don't.
You ain't seen Chip Kelly call plays yet.
Bottom 8.
Yeah.
In the league this year.
No, I think he's probably like
What?
bottom 18. I think he's
Okay.
like 18.
Okay, so how about this?
Not
How about
great,
this?
not good.
How about this? And you might not want to do this, whatever. I get it. But you can either send it to Eddie, he can send it to me, or I'll give you my number off screen. It does not matter. Find me a play where Bryce Young had somebody wide open downfield, and instead of throwing it or running away from whatever he did, show me where somebody was open and he decided to check it down instead.
Yeah.
Is he-
I got plenty.
Well,
I've sent Eddie them.
what is he supposed to
Perfect.
do? Is it you
Show it to
expect
me.
a perfect pocket every time? Is that
Show
what
it
you were
to me.
looking for? Perfect pocket where he didn't check it down? You're on like your 8th right guard. You're not gonna have any like fucking.
Jalen, I wasn't talking to the host just now. I really wasn't.
But the things you're asking for is just.
I'm asking to show me where Bryce is the problem. I'm
There you go.
aside-
That's better.
I will agree with you to an extent. I 100% will, but I'm not seeing like I saw with Baker Mayfield or I saw with Sam Darnold, where we're just missing wide open receivers. We're just not even looking their direction because we're just checking it down, or we're like. I'm not seeing that. I'm seeing play calling falling apart, and I'm seeing it from a schematic. I'm seeing a schematic problem. That's what I'm seeing.
So do you blame like Bryce throwing checkdowns on Dave?
When there's zero separation as for or route concepts to
I mean, do you
open
expect,
anything else up, 100%.
well, I mean, this is the NFL. These guys aren't going to be wide open. You kind of have to throw them open. You have to leave.
Are you saying that Bryce Young doesn't make tight throws?
He can. He doesn't do it consistently.
Was he consistent last season? At the end of last season?
Yeah, he was.
But it's easy to always look at the good things that, when he's played
We
good.
were losing. We were losing last season though, but he was consistently making these throws.
Why isn't he being
and there was
consistent
nothing.
like this year? We should have seen improvement, especially in his game, and we really haven't. It's kind of just like,
Right. Well,
I
but
gave
that's
him grace
why
on
I'm
that over the
asking,
middle
like, what
interception.
do I need? What do I need to look for in this game coming up, even against the Rams, which is a tough matchup, right?
yeah,
We know people aren't going to be open. He's going to have to make those tight throws. He's going to have to know when to scramble, when to hold it, when to
Play in
whatever,
tempo.
right? We know he's going to have to do this stuff, right?
Mhm.
What do I need to look for to see to where I can be like, okay, whenever I come on this podcast, if I'm ever invited again, I've gone at Eddie a lot, so I probably won't
Yeah.
be.
Playing
That
tempo.
means-
It's tempo, man. It's tempo. You saw him playing
Yeah,
tempo in the last
like,
possession, and he
what
played
do I
really
need to see
good.
to where you're like, you know what? This play calling's probably it's really just it's not that good right now. What do I need to see? Is it just where we're just constantly running the ball into a stacked box? Is it like what is it to show you that Canales is not the answer at play caller?
I mean, that's kind of tough. I mean, I'm not really sure. I mean, it's just, watching on the TV, it's very tough. You have to really look at the all 22 to kind of see what's going on with the plays
Agreed.
in the coverage and all that. But, the main thing I will say is just watching Bryce in that pocket, he just holds the ball and he does not make quick decisions thrown down. Like you see quarterbacks, they get the ball out, 2-3 seconds, and they can throw it downfield in 2-3 seconds. He's 15 yards. Bryce just doesn't do that. And whether that's he can't see or he's not confident, I'm not sure. The throwing lanes get clogged up, and it's I'm sure there's a lot that goes into it, but he just like an NFL quarterback, they get in the pocket, choose their guy, throw downfield in 3 seconds or less, and I just don't really see that from Bryce, and I think that's just on him. It's just on him.
Yeah.
Dave can't make him throw downfield from the pocket.
Yeah, and he's got to play in tempo. You saw the last possession that he had on Monday. He played great in tempo. When
He
was
always
get-
plays great in tempo.
When he's getting up, so fucking why not start it from the beginning? Because either you're just gonna you're gonna punt it and go 3 and out anyway.
Start all
Or-
that shit.
Yeah, we can try it. Fuck it.
Why? Like what else? What else can you lose? I mean, because that was one thing I was yelling about with the Packers is let's get some tempo going. Let's keep this same defense on the field where their skeleton is only what they're kind of in. It worked great against Minnesota when they couldn't get into their double mug formations and really crowd the line because they didn't come out in that. And it worked great. And you get your quarterback in rhythm early. You get him in early. And stop running from the goddamn shotgun. I hate teams that run from the shotgun.
I know Packers give me PTSD with that.
Hey,